Hello, friends. I was requested to give some textbook recommendations by a viewer, and I'll post the comment on the video. So essentially, I'm going to go through the subjects that were requested by this viewer and give my recommendations. So for linear algebra, I'm going to recommend this book by Hoffman and Kunz. I use this book to reference the proof concerning the resolution of a symmetric linear operator, namely that it has a complete resolution. And the proof was pretty involved, and this textbook is definitely going to be more involved than just your run-of-the-mill linear algebra textbook. But yeah, this is my first recommendation, and then my main recommendation is going to be this book. Once you have a background on the basics of linear algebra, this is my main recommendation, is this book, Numerical Linear Algebra by Trefethen and Bao. I'm not sure exactly to pronounce that, so forgive me if I mispronounce any of the names in this video. But this is the book that I'm currently reviewing for my research. I'm trying to learn how to code algorithms in optimal transport. Actually, I'm trying to read this book and use this book to implement algorithms in C, and a prerequisite to this book is actually this book on numerical linear algebra. I'd highly recommend it. Excellently well written, okay? So moving on to abstract algebra. So abstract algebra is not my field of expertise. However, I have taken courses on abstract algebra at the undergraduate level, and obviously it's a super important subject. So I'm going to recommend this book. This is an undergraduate level textbook. It's still advanced. It's basically the classic. Everyone will recommend this textbook. It is an excellent book. I really like especially chapter 2 of this book. Chapter 2 is excellent. And then to pair that with, I have 2 YouTube lecture series that I'd recommend. So the first on abstract algebra is this series. It's Harvard Math E222 Abstract Algebra course. They have the full course on YouTube. Excellent lecturer, and the supporting book is the book that I recommended, Algebra by Michael Arden.
Reminder, the syllabus is posted on the...
which is an excellent textbook. This is my first resource. The second resource that I'll recommend are these lecture series by Richard E. Borcherds. Okay, so this is a pretty famous physicist, mathematician. He's an excellent lecturer, and it's kind of his own flavor of abstract algebra. He has a lot of great videos, but his videos on group theory are really great for gaining kind of a different perspective, a little bit more advanced, and kind of goes through the topics pretty quickly, but some really great examples in here and some really great intuition. So I'd recommend this lecture series as well. Okay, then moving on to topology. So topology, I'm not sure what you meant by topology, so I'm going to give 2 different recommendations. I'm assuming you mean differential topology, which is way more in my wheelhouse. So the first recommendation is algebraic topology. This is a kind of, I'm going to recommend the book by Hatcher. This is a controversial recommendation. A lot of people hate this book. A lot of people love this book. At first reading this book, I really didn't like it. And then I grew to like it. And now I'm like, okay, this is a really good textbook, but it is tough. And it is like kind of the way that it's written, it's like hard to get through at first. But if you can get through it, it's a really enlightening and beautiful textbook. So if you're looking at kind of the study of homotopy theory and also like classifying things according to homeomorphism, or looking at certain fundamental groups and homotopy theory and homology, this is the textbook that I'd recommend. But this is not my area of expertise, not even close. So I would recommend you also just look at other people's recommendations for algebraic topology, because this is really the only textbook that I've been exposed to. However, when it comes to differential topology, I have a bit more experience and I can give you a better recommendation. So for differential topology, my number 1 recommendation is going to be this book by Loring 2, An Introduction to Manifolds. I probably posted another video recommending this book. I'm going to recommend it again. I'll recommend it twice because it's just that good, right? This is an excellent book. It's not too long. It's very condensed. The material is presented in an exposition that's very clear, easy to follow. All the definitions are very clearly presented. I just love the exposition on this. I do not know where I would be without this textbook in my manifolds understanding. Now this is the more standard graduate level reference called Introduction to Smooth Manifolds by John M. Lee. This is also a great textbook, and I would recommend reading the appendix to this textbook. So both of these 2 textbooks are going to have appendices that review linear algebra and review calculus and the key concepts that you need to know from linear algebra and calculus, namely the inverse function theorem. So these appendices are really great resources, even if you're just looking to review linear algebra. Great resources here. So going into the appendices of these textbooks first, reading the appendix, which basically reviews the prerequisite material, and then getting into the material itself. Now, Lee I would use as a reference. I would not use it as the primary textbook. I would use Loring 2 as the primary textbook, and I would supplement this textbook with a secret tool which saved me in Manifold when I was studying differential topology, which are these lecture notes by, I cannot pronounce this name here, but you can see the name of the instructor here, and you can find these lecture notes if you go online and you search up the following thing: Weighing Manifolds lecture. Okay, they're free online. You'll find the first link. It'll say "Don't just read it." You click here, and then it'll bring you to this page. And if you replace this, you'll come up with some link, like the following link. Okay, and if you take this link, just grab this link here, and I paste it into a new tab. Yeah, so I paste it into a new tab, so you can see the link here, and then I can delete the parts of this link to go to the course, so I can delete this information to go to the course on manifolds. He has several course notes posted. You might want to check different years to see which ones you like best, but these are the ones that I studied from. Or you can just change the number on the lecture notes, so I could change this to lecture 10, let's say, and then pulls up lecture 10. Let's see if it'll load. Sorry, it's taking a while. Yeah, so tubular neighborhood theorem right here. And these lectures, okay, on manifolds are just the bomb. I mean, this is a secret. I'm really glad I get the opportunity to recommend these to you, because people that don't know about these are really missing out. I mean, these are some of the best lecture notes I've ever read, to be honest. I don't know how this person made such good lecture notes, but they are just honestly maybe even better than a textbook. So I would highly recommend reading these lecture notes alongside the textbook by two. And then for differential geometry, before I recommend a book on differential geometry or Riemannian geometry, let me just quickly mention another thing that might be of use, which is this book on Lie groups, Lie algebras, and representations by Brian C. Hall. This is an excellent book that I'm currently reading. It's deeply related to the theory of the theory of differential geometry and manifolds. This is another really important subject. So as you learn manifolds, differential topology, you'll come to understand why Lie groups and Lie algebras are so critical. Basically, they represent the symmetries of a manifold, okay? Or you can view a group as some sort of representation of a symmetry, okay? And a manifold, of course, like for example, space-time in general relativity, the symmetry of space-time is the Poincare group, which is a Lie group, okay? So basically, you understand the underlying symmetries of your manifold via some Lie group structure, and then this is an entire textbook, and then that can usually be represented. So this is the third word, representations. That can usually be represented as a matrix group, okay? Or at least maybe the Lie algebra can be represented as a matrix group. The Lie algebra is the tangent space at the identity of the Lie group, which is a manifold. So essentially, representation theory allows us to package the Lie algebra structure into a matrix group and then study that from the perspective of group theory. So this is really the intersection of group theory, abstract algebra with manifolds and topology. So I would highly recommend this subject if you haven't heard of it before, and this is a great textbook, by the way. I'm reading this textbook currently. It's excellent, truly excellent. Okay, so now for differential geometry, let's go. My number one recommendation, again, Loring 2. This book directly follows his manifolds textbook that I recommended earlier. So this is a direct follow-up to that manifolds textbook. I'm currently reading it. It is excellent, excellent book. I mean, just so good. I love it. I cannot say anything bad about it. It's perfectly written. Okay, maybe not perfectly, but it's his same writing style, which is just so condensed and so clear-cut and to the point, and it combines wonderful intuition, geometric intuition, with mathematical rigor, which is what I love. So I'd recommend this book. I would also recommend chapter 3 of the following textbook. Sorry, one second. this textbook here. Sorry. So this textbook, An Introduction to General Relativity, Spacetime, and Geometry by Sean M. Carroll. I'd recommend this textbook for just an intuitive grasp of differential geometry and why it's important. Specifically, I would recommend Chapter 3 of this textbook. Okay, Chapter 3 of this textbook, and do not use this as a sole resource for studying differential geometry. Just use it as an intuitive guide to kind of understand why differential geometry is so important and how it's being used in the field. Okay. And this is a great book. But yeah, I just read Chapter 3 of this supplement that with this differential geometry book that I've already recommended. And then the other main differential geometry recommendation is, guess what? My good friend Wang has an entire lecture series, not only on manifolds, but on Riemannian geometry. So if we go to this, if we search Wang Riemannian geometry lecture, should be one of the first things popping up here. Lecture 1, it's the same kind of link here. The link is in a different language, so I'm not going to attempt pronunciation here, but these lectures are just so good. So essentially you have this link here, and I believe there's a newer version of this course. Okay, this course is from 2016 spring. I believe there's a newer version of this course, but you can find it on the website if you just delete all of the part of this link, and just go to courses. You'll go to the website and you'll get a bunch of links of all the courses that this instructor has taught, and his lecture notes are attached. And I believe it's this 2021 spring semester. Is it? No, this is actually some topology stuff. So, but 2023 spring maybe. We get lucky? No? Sorry, guys, or girls, or people. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so 2024 spring. Yeah, 2024 spring. So here we go. 2024 spring, we've got the full lecture series with problem sets, by the way, with exercises, full lecture series on Riemannian geometry. And it's not just any lecture series, is like unbelievably good. So I would recommend it even above a textbook. Both of these, the manifolds, so differential topology, and the differential geometry textbooks, I would recommend Wang's lecture notes above even the textbooks. That's how good they are. They got me through my courses, and yeah, they really made a big difference in the way that I see manifolds. I'm so grateful to this instructor for posting such good lecture notes online, and I'm glad that I get to share them with you all, who otherwise might not have known about this great resource. So yeah, that's those are my recommendations, and yeah, have a great day.